Hello, and welcome back. Hello guys, welcome back. It is your favorite cripple. So what I decided to do today is go through the spookiest urban legends from the States. There's one per state, so there's 50 of them. I don't know if we'll get through all 50 of them. It depends on how long I decide to stop and talk on the ones that I know of. I don't know how many I'm going to know, if any at all, but yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it and see what's creepy in all the states. So we're going to go by state. I guess it's going to be alphabetized. So the first one's going to be Alabama, Hug and Molly. The legend of Hug and Molly is clearly a tool used by parents to get their children to obey the rules. The story native to Abbeville, tells of a phantom woman who appears to children if they stay out late at night. She grips the lingering child tightly and screams in their ear. She's not meant to cause death, but she's meant to cause one hell of a fright. So that's pretty creepy. The next one we have is going to be Alaska. I have no idea how to pronounce this, so please don't murder me in the comments. The Kwalupalik. I have no idea. I'm sorry. The Kwalupalik, an Inuit version of a mermaid or siren, calls to children who are wandering too close to the seashore with her humming, then takes them away in her baby pouch. Okay. The greenish woman-like creature will never return a child once taken into the depths. Sounds like a good way to convince your kids not to go in the water. I would say so. The next one we have is Slaughterhouse Canyon. So this is in Arizona. It says also known as Luana's Canyon. Luana. I'm finding words and names I can't pronounce in pretty much every single one of these guys. I'm sorry. I swear I didn't fail English. Or did I? No, I don't think I did. Sorry. Alright. Also known as Luana's Canyon, Slaughterhouse Canyon tells the gruesome tale of a 19th century gold miner who failed to come home to his family one night. Without his earnings, the mother and her children couldn't buy food and began to starve. I don't know why I can't read today. I'm sorry. Bear with me. I promise it'll get better. When she couldn't stand it any longer, the wife chopped her kids into pieces, tossed them into a nearby river, and died of despair. Her cries can still be heard echoing through the canyon. Something tells me her and Jeffrey Dahmer would be friends. So this next one that we have is the Gurdon Light, if I pronounced that right. Also, this is Arkansas. Like many urban legends, the story of the Gurdon Light has several variations. In one, a railroad worker was hit by a train and decapitated. His spirit can still be seen today, searching for his lost light. In another, the railroad worker bore a violent grudge against his boss who had fired him. He murdered his former employer with a railroad spike, and the victim now wanders the tracks. While the Gurdon Light is well documented, no one has been able to offer an explanation as to what it really is. These are the kinds of ones that creep me out. Out in the middle of nowhere, next to some railroad tracks or a cemetery or something like that, you just see lights. It's like, is that somebody off in the distance with a flashlight? You never know. Never know. So this next one is number 5. It's going to be in California. Charman of San Antonio Creek. Antonia. Per local lore, a father and son were trapped in a horrible fire. The father perished then before help could arrive. The traumatized son lost his mind. He skinned his father and then ran into the forest. Now known forever as Charman, his blackened, burnt body is said to attack motorists on Creek Road in Ojai? I can't word today, guys. I'm sorry. As he seeks more human skins. That's creepy. So this next one, guys, is called the Ridge Home Asylum. And this one's Colorado. The Ridge Home Asylum was a real facility that opened in Arvada in 1912. That is the same year the Titanic sunk. Sorry, I'm a Titanic nerd. That wasn't a fat joke either. Alright, it kind of was. It reportedly housed patients who were horribly mistreated, some of whom weren't even mentally incapable, but just had been forsaken by their family. Though it had been demolished in 2004, people say they can still hear their screams and see the apparitions of former patients on the grounds. This is another thing that creeps me out. Like, when you're seeing abandoned hospitals, nursing homes, asylums, sanatoriums, stuff like that, that is also very creepy to me. I'm not a very religious person, but for some reason, the scientific aspect of ghosts and stuff like that, it really gets to me. Kind of give you goosebumps a little bit, or as one of my favorite YouTubers calls it, chicken skin. Yeah. All right. Next one. So number 7 is going to be Dudley Town, and this is Connecticut. The misfortunes that have occurred in Dudley Town are so terrible and numerous that its nickname is the Village of the Damned. That sounds like it could be a pretty good movie. And there's also, well, I mean, there is a movie called The Village, but I don't know if that would be the same thing. Anyways, the now completely deserted town is said to have been home to many suicides, disappearance, and even demonic activity. It is believed that the founders of the village, and by extension the village itself, are forever cursed. So this next one is number 8, Fort Delaware. Obviously in Delaware. A prisoner camp during the Civil War, Fort Delaware in Delaware City was ultimately home to more than 30,000 Confederate soldier inmates. The few thousand that died before they could leave the Union fort are said to still haunt the area. So this next one is number 9, Captain Tony's, and this is in Florida. Since 1852, Captain Tony's, the oldest saloon in Key West, has been known to be haunted. Doors slam for no apparent reason, and there are inexplicable banging noises and frequent ghostly visitations. Perhaps that's because the site of the town's original morgue was built around a tree that the town once used for hanging pirates. Okay. So that tree's just seen death. I mean, it's a morgue now, so... Okay. So this next one is the Song of the Cell. This is in Georgia. As the story goes, in 1848, Alec and his wife Betsy, both slaves, were in their home one night when their master, drunk and belligerent, crashed open the door. He attempted to attack Betsy, but Alec fought him off. Good job, guy. Undeterred, the master chased Alec up a ladder to the loft, and as the struggle continued, the master lost his balance. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Balance, fell out of the loft, and died. Good. Even though Alec turned himself into the sheriff the next morning, explaining that what happened was self-defense, he was still charged with murder. Par for the course in the antebellum South. Yeah. Alec was imprisoned in the old Lawrence jail and later executed unjustly for the crime. People say they can still hear his sorrowful song traveling through the walls of the old jail. Damn. This next one is number 11, Pali Highway, I don't know. Hawaii. That's probably why I can't pronounce it. It's because that is... Yeah, this is going to have some ones that I can't pronounce, so I apologize ahead of time. So, Pele, the Hawaiian volcano goddess, has many myths attached to her name, and one tells of her ill-fated union with the demigod Kamapua'a. We'll just leave it at that. Who was half pig, half human. The two supernatural beings had a terrible breakup, agreeing to never see each other again. Sounds a lot like my life. That's why, as urban legend has it, if you carry pork with you when you travel over the Pali Highway into Oahu, your car will come to an inexplicable halt. Next time you're in the area, we advise sticking to chicken. This next one is number 12, The Water Babies of Massacre Rocks. This sounds like it's going to be horrible. This one's Idaho. The Water Babies of Massacre Rocks. This urban legend is about starvation and infanticide. I hate that. I don't like that word. Infanticide? Ugh. So if you're squeamish, you may want to skip ahead. When famine hit the local area of Pocatello, mothers resorted to drowning their babies in the rivers instead of letting them starve to death. It is said that those babies turned into fish-like imps, whose new mission was to trick or even murder people. That's a very, very sad story. Damn. This next one is number 13, Bachelors Grove Cemetery, and this is in Illinois. This one's one state away from me. I'm pretty sure the next one's going to be us. We'll find out. This is often referred to as one of the most haunted graveyards in America. The 82-plot cemetery is known as home of many phantom sightings, from a ghostly white lady to an ephemeral white farmhouse. I don't know. Why can't I word today? Or why are they giving me big words? I can't word. Big word make Rick sad. Anyways, people who have visited the site have seen numerous inexplicable illusions. So number 14 is 100 Steps Cemetery in Indiana. This is the state I was born in. If you visit this cemetery in the town of Brazil and climb the 100 steps in the total darkness of night, legend has it you'll see the ghost of the original caretaker appear before you at the top of the hill. He will give you a preview of what your own death will look like. Part of me wants to know and part of me doesn't. Might be making a trip. And here, number 15, yours truly, Iowa, Stoney Hollow Road. As the saying goes, a woman scorned is not someone you want to mess with. Just a woman that's not in any other genre of mood, but happy you don't really want to mess with. Anyways, Lucinda of the town of Burlington is no different. Legend says that when her fiancé failed to meet her there as promised one night, she threw herself off the bluffs along Stoney Hollow Road. Ever since, her ghost has appeared to countless people, and what's worse is that if she leaves a rose at your feet, you are destined to die within 24 hours. Or so the story goes. Number 16 is going to be Molly's Hollow, and this is Kansas. I got one of my friends lives in Kansas, and her boyfriend. They're pretty cool. You'll probably see me game with them on the channel here a couple times. Anyways, Kansas, Molly's Hollow. The urban legend of Molly's Hollow speaks to United States racist history. As the legend goes, when the local townsfolk found out that Molly, an African-American woman, was involved with a white man, she was lynched. People claim her spirit is still there, screaming at night. This is the part of the United States that I am not particularly fond of or proud of. Yeah, we need to know about it because it is part of our history. But as long as we remember it, hopefully history will not repeat itself. On a lighter note, here we are with number 17. Well, I say lighter note, but none of these are really any lighter than the other in my opinion. Hogans Fountain, Kentucky. In Cherokee Park, you'll find Hogans Fountain, which features a statue of Pan, the pastoral yet devious? Come on, Rick, you can word. You can do it. Yet devious Greek god. At every full moon, some versions say every night, at midnight, the figure of Pan wanders the park, causing mischief for passers-by. Number 18 is the Carter Brothers. This is Louisiana. Back in the early 1930s, a young woman escaped from the home of the Carter Brothers in New Orleans with slash marks on her wrist. She told the police that the brothers were feeding off of her blood, and the cops stormed the French Quarter residence, where they found more young women in similar states, their blood draining out of their bodies. The brothers, now thought to be vampires, were captured and executed, only for it to be discovered years later that their crypts were empty. 19. Seguin Island Lighthouse. This is Maine. Like many urban legends, the one in Maine has to do with isolation. As legend has it, in the 1800s, the caretaker of Seguin Island Lighthouse and his wife were the only two people living on the tiny spit of land. They naturally grew increasingly bored and isolated. The caretaker bought a piano so his wife could play it to keep them both entertained, but she only knew one song. The insufferable repetition of the same tune, combined with the severe sense of isolation, drove the husband mad. He took an axe, which I believe that's spelled wrong. I think there's an E on the end of that one. See, I can word. Just small ones. He took an axe, chopped the piano and his wife into bits, and then killed himself. And here we have number 20 out of 50. Big Liz and the Greenbrier Swamp. This one's in Maryland. During the Civil War, Big Liz, a very large woman, was a slave who became a spy for the Union troops. But her espionage was found out by her master, who decided to exact revenge. As the urban legend goes, he took Big Liz to Greenbrier Swamp so she could help him bury a treasure. Big Liz dug the hole and was subsequently decapitated by her evil master, who threw her sorry, I lost my spot, who threw her body into the grave that she had just unwittingly dug for herself. It is said that if you travel to that spot during the dead of night, you will see her spirit there attempting to lure you into the murky swamp. Sounds like that dude's a big dickhead. This is number 21, The Ghost of Sheriff George Corwin, Massachusetts. When you think of haunted locales in the United States, Salem is no doubt one of the top places that comes to mind. The key character in Salem witch trials, Sheriff Corwin, was the most infamous and brutal when it came to interrogating and handling accused witches, earning himself the nickname The Strangler for his torturous methods. A building called the Joshua Ward House now stands on top of the land where Corwin lived and died, and many people say that they've seen him in the windows or even felt his hands pressing down around their necks when they're inside the space. That's creepy. Yeah. Number 22 is the Nain Rouge. Rouge? I think Rouge. Michigan. This is one of the urban legends still recognized today. It is celebrated by the people of Detroit every year. They say that there is a devilish creature known as the Nain Rouge, French for Red Dwarf, who causes mayhem in the city. He is thought to be seen when disaster is about to strike, and is even said to be the reason for the Cadillac Company's downfall in the city. Damn. Number 23 is the Wendigo. Now, if you've seen Supernatural, like I have, watched all of it, and the Winchesters, that one was also pretty good, you'll know about the Wendigo. This is in Minnesota, eh? So the Wendigo is a creature of Native American folklore that is thought to be the result of cannibalism. A person will turn into a Wendigo, a fang-bearing creature that is tall, skeletal, and hairy, if they resort to eating another human being. That's just creepy. I didn't know that specific part. I didn't know that you turn into one. I thought they were born of a mythical way. Anyways, alright. Next one. Number 24 is the Witch of Yazoo. This is Mississippi. While living in the Yazoo River, an old woman allegedly lured boatsmen to their deaths with her magic. One day the local sheriff chased her into a swamp, and as she drowned in quicksand, she put a curse on the town. In 20 years, she said, she would return to set the city aflame. Eerily, in 1904, the city was hit with a massive fire, believed to be the work of the witch. The next day, when people went to visit her grave in Glenwood Cemetery, they saw that the chain links around her grave had been broken. I think she lived up to what she said she was going to do. That's tenaciousness. Tenacity? I don't know. Anyways, next. Number 25 is Landers Theater. This one's in Missouri. Landers Theater in Springfield is supposedly beyond haunted. From fires to stabbings to accidental deaths, this theater has seen it all. Locals and performers have alleged that they've seen the ghosts of people believed to have perished there, including a janitor that was said to have died during a 1920s fire. Damn. I believe this one was on an episode of Ghost Adventures. I'm not sure if this is the same theater. Pretty confident it is, though. I'll have to go back and look, and if so, I may end up rewatching that episode because it is awesome. But anyways, guys, I went ahead and did 25 out of the 50. If you like this episode, please go ahead and leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, so that way we can go ahead and do 26 through 50, get the other 25 knocked out. Until then, we'll see you next time. Bye.